Right.
Vegan.
You're vegan?
Yeah.
Amazing. That's how easy this is. So we're asking people, we're giving people fake £20 notes today. But what we're asking them to do is we're doing a bit of a social experiment, and we're asking them to put them in whatever TV you would like to vote towards. So we got into the sanctuary section. So why did you put it in that one and not this one?
Well, because they're free range, aren't they? You know what I mean? They're running around. They're sort of mass produced in, like, you know, you see, you know, all their pens and all that sort of thing.
So
is that in the UK or Poland?
This is UK.
Is it?
Yeah, this is UK. So the screen on the right, that's actually not free range. That's actually a sanctuary.
Oh, okay.
So that's how they should live.
Yeah,
the screen on the left, that's what they deem as free range.
Yeah.
So yeah, on the screen at the moment are farrowing crates.
Mass produced.
Yeah.
Quick, you know, pump them up with steroids, get them nice and fat quickly.
That's right. Yeah. So the experiment today is people will often vote for animals like this because we care about animals and we want to make sure they're all safe and happy. But is there anywhere in your life where you currently pay for this?
Well, you pay for it.
Yeah.
You probably do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's not much of a choice, is there? You know what I mean? Sort of, you know, where can you go and get, you know, sort of happy meat these days? You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, the answer is we don't get meat at all.
That's true. Yeah.
So
I am eating less meat. To tell the truth.
Yeah.
I'm still eating it, but I'm still eating less.
This is the importance of today, because all these industries are supply and demand industries. So even though you're eating less, every one of these that you put in that jar contributes to this staying open. And for every one life that's taken, it doesn't matter about the others that aren't. To that individual, it means everything to them. For us, it's a sandwich, it's a quick taste, pleasure and a meal. But for them, their whole life is taken. So we're talking to people today about basically being vegan. We've been vegan now for about 2.5 years.
Oh, well done.
Yeah. So that is actually what they deemed as free-range growing pens for pigs.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
The reason the screen before, where you saw them cutting the teeth off and cutting the tails off, that's because they start cannibalising each other within these conditions. They just go mad.
Yeah. When I was still at school, I used to collect eggs on a battery farm. Yeah. And the hens used to peck them. They used to peck themselves.
Yeah, they cut the beaks off the hens as well.
They but even still, they still pecked each other because, like, you know, I'm talking over 40 years ago.
Yeah. And they're still going now. Free range hens. They put 15,000 hens in a big barn and call it free range.
Yeah.
You know, it's mad. And as a consumer, they use words like organic, free range, grass fed to make you feel better, because you feel like you're paying towards the TV on the right.
Yeah.
But even when you're going to the small holdings that don't do it this way, you're still paying for that abattoir at the end of it. They're gassing pigs here with CO2 gas. So they drop it into CO2 gas to make them sort of become manoeuvrable, because pigs are really, really strong. So that gas burns them from the insides out, burns their eyes out, burns their lungs out.
What are they're doing that to get them quiet before they stun them and kill them?
Well, yeah, so what this does is they put them in there in 3s and 4s, they lower them into CO2 gas, it renders them unconscious so that they can manoeuvre them. But the pigs regain consciousness within 15 seconds, as you see now when they start putting the knife in their throat. They start thrashing around. You doesn't see it on this screen, but this actually rolls around a little further and they go into what's called a scalding tank. And it's about 60 odd degrees centigrade water. It's hot water basically. So a pig will drown in boiling water after being gassed and stabbed in the throat at the age of around 6 months. For things like sausages and bacon sandwiches. They're electric prongs. Again, like, these sort of industries tell you that they use electric prongs and gas and bolt guns to, like, make it a humane slaughter, which is just a load of, like, words fed to the consumers to make them feel better. The reason why they do that is to get them into a position where the animal can't run away or defend himself, so they can stab them in the throat and kill them. Do you think you would need to eat meat, eggs, dairy and fish to survive?
No. Long as we get protein from something else.
You've got it.
That's fine. Yeah.
So
protein, that's it.
Yeah. So would you agree that that's a choice?
Yeah.
Do you think that a more moral and ethical choice would to be not to put any money in that pot at all and let them go to sanctuaries?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I agree.
What would stop you being vegan?
I've never really thought about it. I mean, you've just grown up from a kid eating, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just get...
Never changed it.
That's right. You get conditioned into believing that it's okay.
You just see the bit of meat on the, from the butcher and you think, oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
If you knew where it actually, basically, those chickens now, look.
Yeah, this is free-range hens.
Yeah.
So this is the bit after the macerator. Have you ever seen the macerator?
Yeah.
The male chicks obviously don't lay eggs, so they go into an open blender after a few hours of being born. They just chuck them in a big blender.
Oh, okay.
It comes up in a minute. So these are egg-laying hens. They put 15,000 into a big barn. But like hens that are grown for meat as well, they only last maybe like 6 weeks until they go off to slaughter. They often lay with their legs broken. They lay in sort of like ammonia, get chemical burns. They have heart failure.
That's why chicken's quite cheap, really, isn't it? Because it's just like you can mass produce them fairly quickly because they are.
They just pump them out like this.
Compared with a pig, I mean they're quite small, aren't they? You can sort of get more into.
You can get more in. You can. So all these animals are sentient. So when they're in these positions, they are scared and they are worried and they do feel pain and it does hurt, and they are having their lives taken for things like taste pleasure. And the only reason why these industries are here is because of this, and because people are putting more money in this pot than they are in this pot. It's brutal, isn't it? When you think all this for a sandwich. You know, like you rightly said, we get protein from plants, so that's the end of like the nutrition side of things. We don't need to eat these animals or their secretions, so we don't need to. We then identify it as a choice, and I think we all agree that it's an injustice if we're against animal abuse. But like you rightly pointed out, we're conditioned to grow up and pay into an injustice that we actually morally are against.
And the thing is, it's not going to change overnight, is it? It's going to take a long time.
It won't change overnight, but the good news is this is the biggest injustice that you can have a direct effect on. So the minute you go vegan and you stop putting your money in that pot on the left, these animals won't suffer because of you. And one person has that ripple effect. They talk to the next person, next person. And systemic change has only ever happened because a small group of people stood up and said, this is wrong, and I'm going to stick to these morals, and I'm going to speak up for the victims. They don't have a voice. They can't fight their own corner. Well, they do have a voice. They scream in pain, but just no one listens. So that's why we're out on the streets, and that's why we do as much as we can talking to people, because we're trying to educate people and just come to that conclusion that it's not just a lump of meat in a packet on a shelf. It was a somebody, and they suffered and endured pain for a taste pleasure that's going to last 10 minutes.
Right.
What do you reckon? Any other questions? Anything stopping you going vegan?
No, not really. It's just,
Let me give you one of these cards and you can look at it a bit further. Thanks for the conversation today, mate.
No worries.
There you go.
Good luck with your campaign.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, mate. See you soon. Thank you, mate. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, because I used to be in farming.